The prophecies, the theories, the clues. Our global quest to decode the 2012 mystery will continue in Egypt with a hunt for an ancient hall of records.
Look at this. Looks like a column, top of a column possibly.
And we'll head back to Central America to track down new evidence that could explain what the Mayans really intended with their calendar end date.
Here I think I see, here, oh, check it out. Okay, here we go.
And later, extreme survival. See how far some people are going to protect themselves as the clock ticks down to 2012. All this when 2012 Startling New Secrets continues. Our investigation into 2012 picks up in Egypt, where some say an ancient hall of records holds the secrets to survival. These same people claim the Egyptians actually inherited this knowledge from none other than the legendary civilization of Atlantis. There are those who believe the lost city of Atlantis is more than mere folklore. They believe that Atlantis not only existed, but that some of its descendants may have settled here in Egypt, bringing with them critical information about how to survive a cataclysm. Could that information be buried somewhere in the desert? And if so, could it help us survive 2012? The quest for 2012 secrets is concentrated in a little-known archaeological site called Hawara, where some believe an ancient hall of records or labyrinth may be buried. Leading our investigation here is Boston University geologist Robert Schock.
If the ancients experienced a number of catastrophes, I think it's quite possible that they were doing their best to try to predict the next catastrophe, and one might even suggest they were trying to warn us about it.
Schock's investigation at Hawara is controversial. Egypt's chief archaeologist is adamant the labyrinth has no ties to a lost civilization or 2012, and that the building was destroyed long ago.
It's a myth, completely. It's a myth. Nothing at all can be called the Hall of Record.
Those who believe are undeterred, and they're calling for an all-out effort to find it. Already we've stumbled upon possible evidence of a massive structure buried in the sand.
Looks like it's actually support. There's more structures underneath here.
It's an intriguing clue, but we're prohibited from excavating without permission from the government, which doesn't come easy. However, we are allowed to use non-invasive methods in pursuit of the legendary labyrinth. Enter Egyptian geophysicist Abbas Mohammed Abbas. We brought him and his team here to take what amounts to an X-ray of the site using ground-penetrating radar.
So you're actually looking beneath the ground right now?
Yes. Now I am in the stage of gathering the data.
So the waves go down and bounce off whatever's there and then bounce back?
Yes, it reflects from any object under the ground.
Abbas immediately discovers groundwater lying a few feet below the surface. It will make it more difficult to find the labyrinth, but not impossible.
If you see something of interest here, ultimately the next step is to dig.
Yes, this is the next step. This can give us very important answers about the depth of the any object and the dimension of this object.
Earlier radar studies are encouraging. They show what appear to be walls or chambers, suggesting the outlines of a large stone structure. Will today's study show further evidence of something massive lurking beneath us? And if so, could it be the fabled labyrinth some believe holds secrets to surviving a 2012 cataclysm?
You and I both know there's a lot of myths and hunches about the labyrinth and what it may represent, but this is real science.
This is real science, yes, of course.
Scientific knowledge is what Richard C. Hoagland is after as well in his quest to decode 2012. He's thousands of miles from Egypt, in Tikal, Guatemala, surrounded by some of the most spectacular ruins in Mayan country. Hoagland's scanning the temples here for evidence of torsion field physics. It's a complicated and controversial theory. Hoagland believes Earth's torsion fields may have gotten dangerously out of balance, and that the process of reorienting could wipe out civilization. He believes the Mayans may have understood this and predicted it would occur in 2012. Hoagland also claims cataclysms have happened before, not just on Earth, but elsewhere in the solar system.
When we look at Mars, we see an extraordinary history now in desolation. We see what happens when catastrophe is not averted.
Hoagland believes that intelligent life inhabited Mars until 250,000 years ago when a cataclysm struck. According to Hoagland, all that remains is a ruined pyramid and a sphinx-like monument known as the Face on Mars.
A tentative model is that we are the Martians, and some of us, after a catastrophe there, came here, and it all started over again.
According to Hoagland's theory, Martian refugees settled on Earth, passing down vital knowledge to the Atlanteans, the Egyptians, and eventually ending up with the Maya. That's why Hoagland is in Tikal.
We are their descendants living out an attempt to fix the physics and create a world as perfect as we would hope that it would be.
Hoagland conducts an experiment here at this structure because of its unusual entrance.
What I'm looking forward to is to compare other measurements in other sacred places with what happens when I go from outside through this very geometric doorway into the interior to see what the energy flow actually looks like when you measure it. We will see on the screen fluctuations in the frequency. It will be blatantly obvious if, as it appears, this was designed specifically as some kind of a harmonic resonator.
Hoagland says the limestone structures here act as amplifiers, magnifying the effects of the torsion field physics. He says Tikal is one of the best places on Earth to conduct his experiment.
The most interesting reaction appears to be when I stand in front of the altar and then turn around and hang out in this doorway. This, as we speculated, oh, this is exquisite. This is too cool for school. This is just absolutely too cool.
Hoagland claims his readings show the mass of the tuning fork fluctuating, just as he predicted.
The readings you were getting in Tikal, were they a surprise?
The readings are amazing because I'm both surprised and I'm not surprised. We really thought we'd get something, because I had no idea we were going to get something amazing, absolutely off the scale. In fact, at one point it was so bad, or good, that it froze the equipment. The computer could not keep up with these huge fluctuations.
You thought it was broken.
I thought it was broken.
But the fluctuations turned out to be real.
They turned out to be totally real because when I took it back to the hotel and set it up as a test, purred perfectly.
But the bottom line is that the Mayans did not build these temples there by accident.
No way. No way.
According to Hoagland, the data he recorded add weight to the theory that the Maya possessed a keen understanding of torsion field physics and their potential threat in 2012. But he says he's only halfway to unlocking the 2012 mystery. Hoagland's next journey is to Mexico City, to an archaeological site even older and more mysterious than Tikal, called Teotihuacan. It's situated at 19.5 degrees latitude, where he says torsion field energy is the most concentrated. If successful, Hoagland believes his findings there could prove once and for all torsion field physics is solid science. And that, he hopes, will spur the world's governments into taking action to avert disaster before 2020.